All right, pre-calculus 20. Here's 1.3, number 4. Question number 4. Determine the missing terms T2, T3, and T4. So we understand this to be the second term, third term, and fourth term in the geometric sequence. So remember, geometric means that between each term there's a number that you multiply to get the next term. Arithmetic means there's a number that you add to get the next term, right? It can be positive or negative in either case. But geometric means that the terms are separated by something that you would multiply. So if we took any term and divided it by the term just before it, we would get our common ratio then, right? Okay, so having in mind, I'm a visual learner. I like to map things out when I can. So this is the way that I'll tackle this question, but T1 is given to you as 8.1. So I'm going to write 8.1 there kind of as the first term. And T5 is 240.1. So I'm going to go, so here's T2, 3, 4, and T5 is 240.1. Okay? So you guys can see that? Okay. So to me, that helps me understand that, all right, I need to, if I wanted to go from 8.1, which is T1, to this one right here, I would have to multiply 8.1 times R once, then times R again, and then times R again, and times R again. Does that make sense? So 240.1 should be equal to starting with 8.1 and multiplying by some common ratio. How many times? 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So R to the power of 4. So R times R times R times R, that's the same as R to the 4th. Okay, does that sound okay so far? Yeah. All right. So that's the way that I would probably. Now, how does that help? Well, I have an equation, which is great. You can always solve for something in an equation, especially if you have one thing that's missing, only one unknown part. There you go. So let's solve for R. Well, let's divide both sides by 8.1. So on your calculators, turn that on. Let's clear that. So 240.1 divided by 8.1 is this crazy number right here. Okay. So that gives us R to the power of 4 equals this number, which was 29.64 or so. Now you're going to keep that number on your calculator. You're going to use that the full decimal there, so that'll be great. And in order to get R by itself now, I have to take the 4th root. Now you're going to have to figure out on your calculator how that works. Some calculators are different than others, but you may have, so I have a square root button here, and most of you should have a square root button. Some of you might have a x to the power of y button, or some of you may have an x root button. So you have to figure that out. I think in this one, so here's this one right here. You see that x root, whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, I want the 4th root. So I'm going to pick this function. And that's how I tell the calculator I want the 4th root of, and then I'm going to just put my answer in there. So second function, answer. So the 4th root of the answer is 2.33 repeating. Okay. So these are given to you in decimals, so you can have your answers in decimals. It's fine. So R would be equal to 2.33, right? Repeating. Or 2 1/3, right? Or 7/3. Technically it's 7/3, I guess, for a fraction, but you can leave it as a decimal. So determine the missing terms. Okay. So what you would probably do from this point is take this full decimal and times by 8.1 to get the next term, which would be about 18.9. So T2 is 18.9. And let me know if you think I'm doing something wrong here, because it's pretty easy for me. I'm human. I could press the wrong button and not realize it, or totally miss something while I'm trying to teach and figure out if you guys know what you're doing as well. So let me know if you find something that I'm doing that maybe seems a little suspect here. So I would take now this 18.9 and I would multiply that again by R. So good idea to kind of, put a whole bunch of decimals there, or do your 7 over. Yeah.
Could you just do it times 7/3?
Yeah, or you could do times 7/3. Yep, as we mentioned. So 44.1. So T3 is going to be 44.1. If you load up your calculator screen with decimals, it'll assume that's repeating. Yeah.
Oh, really?
It should, yeah. So, let's try that. 18.9 times 7 divided by 3.
Oh.
There you go. So, because I put so many of these 3's in there, it kind of assumed that it's going to be, hey, I think he's trying to put a repeating decimal in there. But yeah, that's a good point. So, and then T4, we need T4 as well, right? So 44, let's do that, times 7 divided by 3, 102.9. And some of you, I can read your thoughts, are going, wait, where did this 7 over 3 come from again? Let me show you. So 2.33, that's 2. 0.3 repeating is actually 1/3, right? So 2 and 1/3. To change this to an improper fraction, 3 times 2 plus 1 is 7 over 3. So that's, you learned that back in grade 5. That was a long time ago, so you probably forgot. Anyways, that's where I get the 7 over 3 from. And I think, do we need one more? Yeah. No, that's it. 2, 3, and 4. So there's your answers right there. Should be good. Again, if the question is in a decimal form, you can just leave your answers in decimal form. That's totally fine. If they were fractions, then you'd want to have your answers in fractions, I guess. So any questions about that one? Does that help with number 4, those of you that asked? All right. Okay, so 5C, let's do 5C as well. Determine the formula for the nth term of each geometric sequence. Okay, so there's T3, there's T6. Watch this. 2, this is 5. 4, 5, and this is the 6th one. Okay, so remember the nth term formula, T of n equals T of 1 times r to the n minus 1. So I need T of 1, which I don't have. I need r, which I don't have. So I have to find either r or T of 1 first. Probably going to want to do r first, right? Do the same sort of, yeah, that was enthusiastic. Good job. Yeah, so how many times do I have to multiply r by to get 135 here? 3. Right. So watch this. 5 times r cubed equals 135. That's what you can glean from this information. Okay? Yeah? Okay. Okay. Don't pack up your stuff until we're done here. Make sure you got this. And if you are finished, just make sure I'm doing it right. Okay? So divide by 5, what do we get? Divide by 5. What's 135 divided by 5? 27. R cubed is 27. Cube root of 27 is 3. So if r is 3, I can now find out what T1 is, right? So T1 times r squared times r squared is going to be 5, right? Because there's 2 r's here. So r is 3, so T of 1 times 3 squared is 9 equals 5. So T of 1 is 5 over 9. It's going to be a fraction, looks like. So determine the nth term formula. T of n now is 5 over 9 times 3 to the n minus 1. Okay, that's for 5C. Any questions about that? All right. All right, make sure 1.3 is done for Monday.